Back, dear viewers, and now we are joined by د.ماريان Gergis. She is a writer and she's going to talk to us about the role of women in public life. Good afternoon, د.ماريان.
Good afternoon to you and your dear guests.
So, as I've just mentioned, can you tell me more about the role played by Egyptian women in public life?
Yes, of course. Let me tell you in the very beginning that women always represent a basic cornerstone of progress and human prosperities in all civilizations and in all countries. And not to mention, they are a very effective force in building upward civilization. And actually, they are basic guarantee and vital condition for the durability and stability of nations. Of course, if we are going to talk of the women empowerment and their role in public life in Egypt, we have to talk first in the rehab and all the programs and the initiatives that were presented from the Egyptian government to women as a belief, and as President Abdel Fattah Sisi always believes that the female and the Egyptian woman has a very great role to play within the society and the Egyptian state. Also, let me tell you that if we are going to talk on the empowerment and the roles, empowering women is a dual benefit, which means that not only women or the females that they are going to get benefit from this empowerment on all over aspects, but also this enriches the political life and the social life and the economic. It's reflected on even the GDP. As you know, while we empower women much more, it's very proportionate with the economic growth and the increase in the GDP.
Yes, also women's representation in parliament has become mandatory thanks to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, who has granted them permanent seats. How do you see the importance of this move?
Yes, of course, empowering women in the political life and their representation in the parliamentary life and the legislative process is very important. As you know, when a decision or when we are reforming a bill, sharing the female vision is very important because it reflects the real needs of the citizen. It reflects the real life of the families and on social background. So empowering women and giving them their quota in the parliament or the House of Representatives or the Senate was very important for the political and for enriching the political life in Egypt. And as you know, many indices is being processed while we are talking to assess and to evaluate the share of women in the political life. Like we have the VDEM index, which is it's one of the most recent indices and one of the global indices to assess the evaluation or the share of the women in their societies and in their parliaments and in their political life, which was one of the important indices, and it was a huge study that was implemented from 1900 to 2012, assessing the civil liberties and the civil participation and their political participation. And as you know, Egypt was ranked the third after United Emirates and Iraq as one of the most states that empower women in the political life and representatives in the parliamentary life.
So also most civil society organizations and institutions are either founded by women or are members of women. So what's your take on this?
Yes, of course, the civil, this is an important part. Sharing the women only in the political life or in the governmental organization will not enrich the society or will not enrich the social life of Egyptians, but also their share in their civil organization and non-governmental organization is very important. As you know, the Egyptian women are unique icon, and they are very effective players in the social life. And as I told you in the very beginning, that sharing the women is beneficial not for the women themselves, but it's beneficial for the decision and for the life and for even getting laws more implemented and more integral for the citizen and for the population. As you know, the Egyptian constitution also played many important roles that banned all forms of gender inequality and also the gaps between the gender. And of course, we are heading to reach the zero level between gender inequality. And also the government, the Egyptian government, issued 3 strategies to enhance the women equality and empowerment, which was one of them, the national strategy to combat violence against women, which is 2015 and 22.
Yes, also many governmental initiatives targeted Egyptian women in rural areas, also other initiatives targeted women's health. So we can see that there is a special attention paid to Egyptian women under the leadership of President Fattah al-Sisi. How do you see this?
Yes, as you said, that many health initiatives were presented from the presidential institution under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and actually this is a great belief from the Egyptian state that investing in the health of the Egyptian citizen is just an investment on the long term in the Egyptian state. Of course, women had the largest, maybe the largest percent of this initiative, addressing the early diagnosis of breast cancer, addressing even their health, postnatal and prenatal. Also, all the initiatives that was related to the children and the youth, they were very important initiatives that invested in the health of Egyptians.
So, in your opinion, what are the challenges that still face Egyptian women and need to be addressed in the coming period?
Yes, of course, maybe we will talk about many challenges in the society. We will talk about the economic challenges. Empowering women economically, of course, many developments and many achievements were presented from the government and from the ministries to present many projects and small projects for the women. Yet we need more projects for these women. We need a more economic empowerment for these women in order to share in the GDP and to share positively in the Egyptian economy. Also, maybe many initiatives were presented from the Ministry of Solidarity in order to make a good environment for these women and for the females in order to go to the work safely, which is a very important thing. Maybe as a government, I can offer a job for the female, but I cannot afford the logistics, the safety of these females during their work or during their journey to the work every day, especially if they are living in very far areas.
So also, if we talk about women in the rural areas, and how can we give them special care on terms of education, also establishing more projects for them, SMEs, and helping them to raise their children in a right way?
Yes, if we are talking about our families and our parents in the rural areas, we are talking about many aspects. As you said, the first one is education. Is to present to them education and good environment in order to get their primary education in a very good and very comfortable way. And this is, I think, is being presented to them through a Decent Life initiative, and maybe the government is very active with association with the non-governmental organizations to improve their lives through the Decent Life initiative. This is the very first thing. The second thing is to present to them a very good environment, including all the services like the internet, like the water, the good source of water, and even the environment and how to be living in houses which is planned. As you know, maybe this was a great debate in the last 10 years that all the rural areas were not planned, so getting the clean water to them was a very challenging thing. The third thing, which is the projects, the small projects to our skilled mothers and to our skilled sisters in the rural areas, they are very professionals in such things, and I think this will be reflected on the economy with a very positive way.
So also, if we talk about Egypt's Agenda 2030 and the developmental plans of the government, to what extent this plan also is depending on the performance of Egyptian women?
Yes, as you know, we have already another national strategy to empower women for Egyptian 2030, and the woman is a very important component in the Egyptian equation to reach the sustainable development. As you know, it's one of the aims of the UN, the sustainable development. It's very easy to make achievements and success and make developments, but to reach the sustainable development without affecting our resources, it's a very challenging thing. So the Egyptian woman is one of the most important components in this equation. Also, we have another strategy, which is the National Human Rights Strategy 2025-2026, which is one of the also important things to be implemented in the upcoming years.
I'd like to thank you, Dr. Marian Gerges, writer. Thank you for being with us, and the viewers show break, and we'll be back, so stay tuned.